Hello everyone. So now we are going to talk about the French Revolution chapter. See, in our last video we talked about the introduction part. Now, see, just like in a movie, when we watch a movie, we see some incidents or some events happening, and then we don't get any idea exactly. But as the story gets back into flashback, we actually understand that why this event. Okay. Similarly, in this chapter also, we are going to see one event happening, but maybe you won't get any idea. But then, as the story unfolds, as we go ahead in the chapter, in the flashback, we will understand why exactly this happened. So, let's begin. So, it was a morning of 14 July 1789, and the place was city of Paris. And the city of Paris was in a state of alarm. Means there was havoc going on in the city of Paris. Now, why this happened? The king had commanded troops to move in the city. So normally troops don't, military and armies, they don't remain in the city. But the king had commanded the troops to move into the city. And rumors spread that he would soon order army to open fire upon the citizens. There were some 7,000 men and women. They gathered in front of the town hall and they decided to form people's militia. People's militia means group of people. They are trained as soldiers. So these 7,000 men and women who gathered in front of the town hall, they actually decided to form militia. And they broke into number of government buildings in search of arms. So these people, the 7,000 people, around 7,000 people, they were actually looking for the arms. And they were looking for the arms in government building. Now, finally, a group of several hundred people, they marched towards the eastern part of the city and they stormed the fortress prison, and this prison was the Bastille. So they stormed into the Bastille prison. Stormed means they just entered with force into the Bastille prison. Where now why they stormed into the Bastille prison? Because here they hoped to find hoarded ammunitions. So these people thought that king had, collected all the arms and ammunitions in this fortress prison, that is Bastille prison. Now, in this fight, the commander of the Bastille was killed and prisoners released. However, there were only 7 of them, okay, not more than that. But yet, the Bastille was hated by all. Means this place, the Bastille prison, it was hated by all. So what is the reason why it was hated by all? Because it stood for the despotic power of the king. Because people thought that this whole Bastille prison, it is a sign, it's a, kind of building that is standing here because, and it is showing us the power of the king, and that was despotic power of the king. Despotic means, kind of when someone uses their power in a very cruel way, and that's why these people thought that this is a sign of this power, and that's why they hated Bastille prison a lot. So this fortress was demolished and its stone fragments were sold in the market. Look at the hate. They not only demolished the fortress, but they also sold the stone fragments in the markets to those who wish to keep the souvenir of the destruction. So they thought that there must be some people who want to keep this memory with them, that how they destructed this building. And that's why they sold these fragments, these stone fragments, in the market. And after this, people saw more rioting both in Paris and the countryside also. So after this event, there were many rioting events that happened not only in Paris but in the countryside also. Most people, they were protesting against the high price of bread, and much later historians look back upon this time, they saw it as the beginning of the chain of events. So basically, the storming of the Bastille prison, this event was the beginning of a chain of events that ultimately led to the execution of the king in France. So this was just a starting, okay? This was just a starting point, because after that, there were so many events that happened, and these events ultimately led to the execution of the king in France. Means this whole system of king and monarchy system that came to an end after this event. Of course, much later, but this was the starting point. Though most people at the time did not anticipate this outcome. They just started this thing. They didn't know that what is going to happen in the future. All right. But this was the starting point. So now we will see in our next session that exactly how and why did this happen. Okay. So why these people were so angry? Why they stormed into the Bastille prison, and why they destructed this building. Okay. So here we can see this picture. See this. This is the storming of the Bastille. Soon after the demolition of Bastille, artists made prints commemorating the event. So they kind of, they were trying to describe something very important. To commemorate it means to describe something very important. Okay. So this is the picture. This is the storming of Bastille prison. Here people thought that king had kept his arms and ammunitions. So why exactly this happened? That we will see in our next session.